Today in this episode, we shine the spotlight on Mauritius and we get a unique perspective from a local, which is Frederic Bestel from Gold of Mauritius Rum and a local resident of Mauritius. If you haven't been already, you're probably going to want to visit. And if you have, you'll probably want to visit again. So Fred, take it away. Tell us a bit about your home.
I'm not seeing everyone, but hi everyone. So my name is Frederic Bestel. I'm a rum producer. So I make this rum, which is called Gold of Mauritius. I'm born here, bred here in Mauritius. We normally speak French. So this is why maybe my accent is a bit strong. Do not hesitate if I do not say something properly to ask again. I can say, well, about myself, I've been lucky to travel around because I export my rum to many countries around the world, 26 now. And I've been meeting a lot of people who ask me questions about Mauritius. For sure, they are surprised first. You're from Mauritius, but you're white. How could you be? It's island, you know. And then also, what happened in Mauritius? Do you have roads? Do you have cars? I mean, even like people have a very strange perception of this little island, which is a bit far from Europe. But we do have a lot of French and British, German visitors. The thing that Mauritius is bilingual, we speak French and English quite fluently, makes Mauritius a bit special. And we used to be a British colony. We are independent. It's only 1968. So it's a very young, independent island. So we still drive on the left-hand side, and but we speak French.
Oh, very good. So, Fred, you export rum, you produce rum, so you're a distiller by trade. So it would actually be good to first talk a little bit about the rum, especially with the festive period coming up. It would be good to have a quick chat about how you got into making rum and the rum that I noticed the Solera 5 has just been awarded silver. So it'd be good to just get a really quick summary on how you got into rum.
Yeah, exactly. You said our Solera 5 just been awarded a silver medal at, it's good, huh? The Concours Mondial de Bruxelles, which is one of the most prestigious competition. And we, being part there of among the best in the world is a recognition of hard work. I've been in the rum industry for maybe 20 years, around 20 years, but I've been making my own for the past around 10 years, 10, 11 years. And I started a bit, the Gold of Mauritius, I got it a bit by mistake at the beginning, trying to work with South African cask. Why South African? Because nobody has done it, wanted to be different. And South Africa, by boat, I will say 4 or 5 days. So to receive the barrels were easier. And I just wanted to be different. So about 10 years ago, I started. I got something quite interesting. Went to Berlin Rum Fest. That was my first experience. And I won a medal there. And that there's let's say the excitement around the product started, and then snowball effect. Today we are exporting, like I mentioned, to 26 countries, most of Europe. We're also in Asia. We are not in US yet, but that hopefully next year, with all the situation, we'll wait. But I'm a small entrepreneur also. It's not a big industry. It's artisanal work. Every barrels are made by me. That's what I can say about Gold of Mauritius. Now, in terms of aromas, the taste, etc., it's a sweet-based rum, easy to drink. It's a sipping rum. It's not a cocktail rum. It's something that you enjoy with some chocolate or an espresso next to it. Cigar, people like it because it's smooth. A cigar being a bit stronger. That's how you enjoy Gold of Mauritius.
Just on that sort of vein, so what else is Mauritius known for producing other than the rum side of things? What else do they produce, or why do people visit Mauritius?
Well, Mauritius started with a mono culture, a mono economy. It was, when Mauritius took its independence in 1968, there was an agreement with European Union for a period of 20 years that we will sell our sugar to Europe at a fixed price, which allowed the industry to reinvest in other industries. So tourism started in early 90s, first hotels, late 80s, beginning of 90s. Textile industry also started in the 90s. In early 2000, the offshore sector, financial sector, BPO, outsourcing, a lot of, let's say, French telecom are based here in Mauritius. And then also the fishing industry, because if we are a very small island, our sea is very large in the Indian Ocean, and we've been exporting a lot of our fish to Asia, to Japan, because of the tuna that very rare also. And with Seychelles, Mauritius is quite a big player in the fishing industry.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 50 years, we evolved from a mono economy to have many different economies today. And the rum is actually just a product of the sugar industry. Because we make rum. Rum is made from the sugar cane, from the molasses of the sugar cane. And rum, we were not allowed to export our rum until 1997, because we had to produce only sugar. We had to maximize sugar, the sugar production, etc. So we were not allowed to make rum from the sugarcane juice. So this is why you see only now that you see Mauritian brands getting international recognition, is because we are a bit young in that industry. Only 20 years.
Yeah, that's well, compared to even the Caribbean and some other areas, that's really, really young.
But when you look at the history, we had our pirates, we had all that history. French and British used to battle, and it's actually in the south of Mauritius where the only naval battle that Napoleon lost to the British was here in Mauritius. So we do have history of vessels. We got Paul and Virginie, which is a beautiful story that is taught at school. We got the Saint-Girons, which is one of the most prestigious vessels. So we have a lot of history, but not linked to the rum like in the Caribbean islands.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you mentioned you're kind of secluded over there in the Indian Ocean, but also it means that you're surrounded by water and some really nice views from what I've seen from some helicopter pictures.
Yes.
So one of the things I noticed that really stands out were the underground waterfalls or underwater waterfalls. Is that something that you could see from land? Is that something that people come to, or is there a lot of diving? What activities are there to do if you go to Mauritius?
Many activities, and actually we tend to advertise Mauritius because of those long white beaches and crystal clear water. But we do have a lot inside the island. You do have waterfalls. You were talking about diving. You got beautiful dive. In the one that you see like a waterfall, it's in the southwest. It's called the Morne. It's a beautiful place where you have the mountain on your side and long wide beach next to it, crystal clear water on the side. It's a beautiful area. But again, it's not an island where you got only one sceneries. You got many different sceneries. You will have this the northwest of the island, Grand Bay, where you have a lot of restaurants, nightclubs, bars, where all the festive activities happen. And you go down to the south. This is where it's still, you will go horse riding in the mountain, you go hiking to the mountain, you go down the rivers. There's plenty, the list is very long of activities.
So if you had, so let's say I haven't been before, what sort of areas would you recommend people should stay in depending on what they're looking to do? So you said that there's something in the northwest and the south. Is it easy to go from one to the other? Where do people normally stay, or where would you recommend?
Yes. About distance, we don't talk about kilometers in Mauritius. We talk about time. Let's say where I am right now, I am on the east coast of Mauritius. It's a place called Azuri. It's a residential area. But in summer, the east coast is nice because you got fresh air. You know, on a tropical island, the humidity quite be a bit difficult in February, March. So at this time of the year, it's the best time of the year because it's the beginning of summer. The colors are beautiful. The flowers are going out. And the east coast is beautiful. The west coast is where the sun set. And then this is where it gets a bit hot. In, let's say, February, March are two difficult months. Some people love it. They love when it's humid, etc. But the locals prefer to get a bit of wind. So I will say, when it's summer, it's better to be on the East Coast. When it's winter, it's better to be on the West Coast. And yes, our winter and summer is only a few degrees difference, but still, it's windy. And if you like water sports, then I will say East Coast is better.
Okay, that's good to know. So try to avoid February, March. I think the humidity for a lot of people, it doesn't work.
And you know, we got cyclone. Huh? We do have, every year we do got about 5, 6, 7 cyclones, sometimes 10. But it lasts 2 days. You know, we just, you know, when you got a cyclone, you go home, you watch TV, and you know, you got locked down for 2 days. And when you go out, but it's different, you know. And when I was a kid, I used to go sailing in the cyclone. You know, it's windsurf. Yeah, you know, but it's not. We don't have those monsters that you see sometimes on TV. Cyclone, sometimes it's good because it gives us a bit of water as well. We are very fragile in terms of water because, as you can imagine, our population is 1.3 million people. The island is 75 kilometers north to south and 35 kilometers east to west. Plus, we used to have about 1 million visitors per year. Now, okay, there's nobody on the island, no visitors, but yeah, you need water for all those people.
So then is there, in terms of the tourism right now, so obviously it's a little bit slow, but usually is there, so one main airport, people just fly in and then it's easy to get around, or where do people normally?
Yes, we got one international airport. It's called the Sersiusaga Ramgulam International Airport. At the moment, you know, Mauritius is COVID-free. Huh? We don't have any COVID in Mauritius, and that's since May this year. But the island is locked. That means there's nobody coming in. They have opened the island about a month ago. For people who want to stay long, which is good because if anybody is coming to Mauritius for a week, it's not worth, because then you will have to go to quarantine. So anybody coming to Mauritius have to go to quarantine. And at the moment, we are encouraging people to come to Mauritius and spend the winter in your European winter in Mauritius. Come here for 2 months, 3 months, then I mean, the quarantine that you will do it in a hotel. Will be easier, smoother, and then you can go out and enjoy the island. That's what we're promoting at the moment, Mauritius, because it's a COVID-free island. So there's, yeah.
It's a good proposition though, because especially where everybody is maybe working from home or just basically not having to go to an office, if you can take that 2-3 months instead of being in the 4 white walls where it's just gray every day, different types of gray and rain, it's probably a little bit better in Mauritius.
That's what we can offer you.
There we go. Look at that. Oh my God, a blue sky. I haven't seen that for months.
I tend to say that we are COVID-free because of our rum. Huh? So,
Yeah, well, that's true. It's a little bit of medicine. You know, even though it's the morning here, it's unbelievable how easily it goes down, even without ice or anything like that. So good.
it's very smooth. It's easy. It's easy to drink, and it's easy. You put it with 2, 3 people. You just share a smooth drink. Yeah, it's
Mm.
easy.
So if rum is so popular in Mauritius, do people start drinking quite early? Is it normal to just have it throughout the day, or is it just the evening sort of thing or social?
No, it's the evening. I mean, you always have, a bit of people who exaggerate, huh? but but when you have people working in the field, you work very early morning, start at 4 o'clock in the morning when it's dark, and you finish work at 11 o'clock because of the temperature, because it's so hot. So those who are working in the field are people who work early from 4 to 11 o'clock, and then 11 o'clock, then have a rum, have lunch, have a
Wow.
rum, go for a nap. What else? Yeah.
Nice. So that tell us more about the cuisine. So, because obviously there's a couple of different influences. So, what's the cuisine like? There's a lot of people that travel, and I mean, I'm one of those people where I travel. I need to know where I'm going to be eating, what kind of food I'm going to be having, street food, where restaurant, whatever it is. So, tell us more about what we can find there.
The cuisine, we are very, very spoiled. Why? Is because Mauritius is a multicultural island. Um, let's say majority of the population are Indian origin, so we do have Indian cuisine. So all the curries and the spices also. We also have a lot of people from Africa, so you get the African culture. But someone like me, I will have, let's say, on Monday, Indian dish, on Tuesday, a European dish, on Wednesday, a Chinese dish. It's so part of our way of life. Um, it's a very mixed cultural, and you find everything in Mauritius. In terms of the street food as well, you you will go to the city, Port Louis, and you will have Chinatown next to let's say a Muslim area, which where you will get your biryani, you will get all the difference of the culture, one next to each other. And it's amazing when you see those street foods one next to each other. We are very
Ah.
spoiled on that.
I didn't think there would be that much street food, actually. That's interesting. And is it like little independent places, or is it literally eat off the street with the food trucks sort of thing, like a market?
Both. You will get your burgers, you will get your, what we call, it's very common here, it's a dal puri. It's an Indian pancake with the curries inside. This is an expert. It's a must to do. You will find it everywhere, around corners of the shops, especially at the exit of like factories, etc. That's what people. It's a quick food, easy, and then you have a chili bites, which is dough, crushed doughs with some spices, and it's deep fried. So we do have a lot of deep fried. We've got the samosa. I'm sure you're aware of the
Yeah.
samosa. And then you will have the Chinese bullet. The Chinese in hot water. You got all those balls, the fish balls,
Yeah.
and samai, and all those. You find all those everywhere.
I didn't think of that. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm planning my trip soon.
The fried noodles and fried
Mhm.
rice. You find it in the corner in a little shop, or sometimes, like you said, much in shopping malls as well. You will find those. You will find the proper dining restaurant where you will get your pizza. You will get those uh, KFC, all those international brands also.
Mm.
But you have next to it the local foods as well.
What about the cafe or the coffee culture over there? Is it a big thing? to have really like good coffee, or is it just, you know, your standard Starbucks, etc.?
No, we don't. Starbucks is not in Mauritius actually. I'm not. Yeah, they are not yet because
Oh, interesting.
Starbucks. We don't have any Starbucks, but we got a very popular one which is called Lux, Lux, and it's Lux Coffee. They import their coffee and they crush. They make their own coffee in the south of the island at Chamarel. We plant coffee, so we have our own coffee from Mauritius. But I think I will say that tea is more popular than coffee here. We do grow our own tea. Um, it's called Boischerie. It's beautiful. You can go to the tea factory. You can go for tea tasting. They even have a restaurant where you can eat with tea, a recipe with tea, chutney of tea and things like that. But I would say in terms of drinking, tea is more popular than coffee.
Ah, interesting. So you could, so the tea factory would be one of those, maybe not touristy, but one of those experiences that you could do. And I'm assuming the distilleries as well. Are there any others that people should do in terms of like an experience, or that's more indoors rather than just the beaches?
Ah, yes, there's plenty to see. The tea, to come back to the tea, it's made like the old-fashioned way. So this is why it's important to visit it. You will see the history of the tea also in Mauritius. In terms of a distillery, we do have 6 distilleries now on the island, and we are all have our own way of making our rum. You know, some are very French, the others are very British, the others very Spanish. So everybody believe that they do the best. Huh? It's normal.
Standard. Ah, okay. So then, if people are spending, you know, longer periods of time in Mauritius, what would you suggest in terms of if they're staying in a certain place? Are there like some day trips that they could be taking, even if it's off the island, or how does it work?
Yes, I think normally people come to Mauritius for the beach. Okay, that's we know that they come for this island. You do have a lot of catamaran days. You can spend the whole day on a catamaran. Can spend the day on a little pirogue that will take you for barbecues on the island because we do have a lot of. It's the reef, you know. Inside the we have a lagoon which is quite large, so it's not like you are going to the deep sea. So you do that. Uh, Water sports for sure. Some people come to Mauritius now to go kiting because we do have some 2 very popular spots. Uh, International competitions also are happening. Diving also, I know that there's a beautiful spots for diving. I'm not, I do some diving, but I got a ear problem, so I don't go very deep. But beautiful diving from like 15 to 30 meters. And also being a tropical island, there's a lot of beautiful colors down there, you know, beautiful. Then on the inside of the island, we got amazing mountain sceneries, endemic trees, plants, history. There's a lot of history being. We used to be French colony, then we were British colony. So there's some old colonial house with history, who live there, families, etc. Um, and beautiful walks. That also a lot of people do that. You walk up the mountain with a guide. You go, like you mentioned a bit earlier about waterfalls. We do have waterfalls. And then you also have like quiet biking and things like that where you can go and ride. You will have for all age. Don't think that people who can't walk properly, etc. No problem. We do have the structure for that, and we got the food. Some people go out. There's an activity they call food buddies. I think food buddies, where they bring you out to discover. They go to the market with you. They bring you to the market, to the spices, where you can buy the fish, etc. And then they go on the streets and to discover the different food. So we do have a lot of cultural activities as well.
So they support it quite a lot.
I mentioned that we are a multicultural island. um, and you will have Indian temples, you will have Christian church, you will have mosque. All those you can visit because Mauritius is a very it's tourism. You know, tourism is big. There's a lot of people are curious, and people enjoy to have foreigners at home. That also is quite interesting. Some people do that. They they um, they open their house for lunch where you can go have lunch with them, and they tell you their stories of things, etc. It's not commercial. It's very typical. That's very nice.
That's an interesting thing. I haven't heard of that before. Is it is there a specific way to try to arrange that beforehand, or how do you find out how to take part in that?
You've got a lot of tour operators now. We used to have tour operators like Standard. You know, they will bring you to Pamplemousse Garden. They will bring you to do the big things. But a lot of smaller tour operators now are focusing on more personal touch. Things. So it's very important to research. What do you want to do? If you want that cultural part, do research that because they are, I mean, good reference. You know, now with social media, you got everything. But there is a lot of them having their own website. They will tell you. I got a friend of mine who had a health issue. About 10 years ago, and then he stopped working crazy hours, and he's decided to do trekking, just bring people to walk. And he started his business like that. He advertised on the web, and every day he does 2 walks, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, on the walks on the mountain. And then on his walk, there's about the history. They stop, they watch the birds. Also, we got endemic birds. So there's a lot like that to do. There's for everybody, every taste.
So then, are there? Because it's good to hear how the culture is very open to tourism. Because there are some places sometimes where you do feel like you're not. You can't really be part of the community. So it's good to be welcome. But are there any typically like tourist traps that people should be aware of to try to avoid, or is it not something that you guys do?
Like every tourism place, the prices always start a bit there. You just have to negotiate your way down.
Okay, so bartering. Okay.
But one of the main aspect of the locals is we used to say the smile of Mauritius. It's not industrial tourism that we have. It's a very personal, and people are very friendly, helpful. Anybody can, on the road, you stop, you ask for direction. They will even tell you, let me bring you there. They are very, very, this is what makes Mauritius quite special.
Yeah.
What you have to be careful, I would say, much more of a price. We do have a bit of fake products, coming from Asia, let's say, on the market, but all that are things that you see, you touch, and you realize. But let's say when you do shopping here, the big brands are made in Mauritius. A lot of big brands are made in Mauritius. Textile is still strong. So you do have national brands available at competitive prices compared to what you find in Europe. So shopping is good here.
So is that just in normal places, or is there like, outlet malls where you do get that, or is it just a standard?
What we have, those factories does like, let's say you do a brand, I will not name a brand, but let's say a popular brand. Let's say the color is not cut like they should, so it's like a reject. You don't see it, so you will find those available a bit everywhere.
What else would you recommend? Is there anything in particular that you'd recommend to people if somebody had, let's say, maybe forget COVID times, if you had just one day in Mauritius, what would be the must-see things to do?
Well, I'm a sea person. I love the sea, and for me, a catamaran day is a must to do. You go on the north of the island. You go to an island called Île Gabriel. it's amazing. It's beautiful. The colors, the sea is pure. You know, it's you go snorkeling, you will see sea turtles and things like that. On your way, you might see dolphins. So that for me is my hard touch. You know, that's what I would love. I do that regularly. Even being a local, it's something that I do regularly.
And is there any particular guide, or how do you arrange the catamaran day?
Yeah, I use one all the time, which because I also know the team now on the boat, etc. I stock Top Cat. So if you go topcat.com, you will see the boat is not beautiful in terms of the look, but it's a catamaran. It takes about 20 people, and the food is amazing on the boat. The people, the staff is amazing. The rum is good, and beer, etc. And they are lovely people. It's clean. It's important also that you get on the proper boat. Huh? No, that for me I will do. Also, you know, I forgot to mention, we do have in Mauritius like the best golf course. Those who golf, we got international golf event happening in Mauritius. So we do have about a good 10 golf courses in Mauritius. So there's so many things, you know. We got skydiving also. You can do skydiving. There's so many things. But if you ask one day, I would say go for the sea, much more of the sea.
When it comes to the beaches, are they all private beaches? Like you have to, how do the beaches work? Because I know in some areas, maybe in the Caribbean, there's some public, some private, and it depends where you can go.
Yeah, you do have those, you know, luxury hotels also, where you do have a lot of celebrities that come. So those are quite aside. You know, the law says in Mauritius that the beach is for everybody. And you do have public beaches, etc. But some 5-star hotels have made their structure so that the beach is exclusive. Mauritius, we do have a lot of celebrities coming, but it's never in the newspaper, etc. And this is also one of the reasons why celebrities come here. We are very quiet about it. You could be walking somewhere and suddenly, maybe I don't know, a soccer player or something like that. It happened.
So very private.
But let's say you do have public beaches. Sometimes you walk in front of the hotel, and it's no issue. But we do have a lot. It's okay. We do have a lot of long beach, and there's place for everybody.
So then when you take your holidays, or whenever people are going to be taking holidays again, where is it that you would go if it's not in Mauritius?
Like I said, I'm a sea person, so in summer, in your summer, which is my winter, I used to go to Greece. I like the Mediterranean Sea. It's very different from the Indian Ocean. I used to do that, and recently I discovered snow ski. So I did snow ski only a year ago, so I'm still learning. But this year, unfortunately, will not be able. Hopefully, I'm enjoying that. I'm not a hiking person yet. Maybe it will come. And no, I've been traveling a lot, but not doing enough tourism.
No, I understand that. So are there any final thoughts or recommendations that you would say to entice people to book to come to Mauritius?
First, if you come, they mustn't book only a week. Minimum is 2 weeks. I think there's so much things to do. You will never get bored in Mauritius. Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks is good. I would say avoid February, March because of for those who don't like when it's too hot. And I got some people who love it. They say, no, this is what I like. I like to feel the heat, etc. I said, okay. And the best times of the year is October, November, at the beginning of summer, or May. The month of May is beautiful because it's the beginning of winter. There's air. For those who like windsurfing, kiting, May, June, July is beautiful. But you know, our winter, the sea is at 20 degrees. That's our winter.
I think barely our summers in the UK even reach that.
But at the moment, like today the temperature must be around 28. The water is a bit still cold, 22. So we don't swim, we wait a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
we sport.
And
some people wear wetsuit to go sailing, windsurfing.
oh my God, it's boiling. And just a final question. So in terms of getting around locally, is it very, you have to have cash, especially if you're bartering a lot, or is it very good for contactless and just using card?
No, we, financials, like all the international banks are here in Mauritius. It's a lot of, cards is used, everybody. Cash is, personally, I barely have cash on me. It's always my, the card everywhere I go. But if you go in the little corner of the street and you're street food, you will need cash. But you don't walk with cash on you. I believe the exchange rate is very good for you. One British pound, I think, turns around the 55 rupees, a bit more, nearly 60 rupees. It's good for you. When you come to Mauritius, you feel rich.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Well, anyways, Fred, thank you for your time. If you have any other thoughts, let me know. Otherwise, I think that's given a lot of insight, because I think, like you said at the beginning, there's probably a lot of people out there, myself included, that didn't really have much of an idea of what to expect in Mauritius. So I think that's given some great insight. I've really appreciated it.
Thank you for having me. Like I said, Mauritius is very well developed. But you still have this old, I would say, way of living, very peaceful, very multicultural, which makes it very pleasant for people around, and also to discover the food, the way of living as well. Cultural events as well are wonderful. I mean, Diwali is this Saturday, and everybody has the lights at their place. That's something. I'm going to put lights at my place. It's Diwali. We celebrate Diwali. We all celebrate Chinese New Year, Christmas. Everybody celebrates, which makes Mauritius quite special.
Ah, that's nice. It's very inclusive. I like that. So can you show us a little bit of the area so we can see? Are you by the sea?
Yes, I'll show you.
Let's see. Oh, look at that.
You see? Can you see well?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's right there. Nice. So there's still not a lot of people around.
At the moment, a lot of the locals are there. So we got a hotel here, which is the Radisson Hotel, but also it's a residential area.